Hello, hello. Alright, showtime here. Hello, Vessa. I'm first today. You beat the bot. My goodness, you beat the bot. Hello, Nixie. Hello, Phoenix. And Vessa, thank you so much for resubscribing. I really, really appreciate it. How is everything going? I am the bot. Very true. Well, you beat the other bot. Hello, Lily. How's everything going? Hello, K-pop. Hello, Mirage. What? Mirage, what? What's wrong? Hopefully everything's alright. I'm rewatching Dragon Prince to get through season 4. You don't have to... A scene just... I'm guessing that's saying... A scene just came on and hello, hello? That's why she sounds familiar. Did you wait, did you figure out what? Did you figure out, what is Twitch blocking? What is wrong? Hang on. Hang on. What is... That just... Hang on one sec, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. A scene just changed. Oh, okay. Why is that a thing? Hang on a sec. Can I change this now? I guess not. Okay. Twitch is weird. Is there a way that I can remove that? Because I didn't think that I had that. Hang on a sec. Can I filter things? Where can I just quickly change messages? Can I do that right now? No. I usually don't have the Twitch screen up, but it's not allowing me to do anything easy. Hang on. Can I do this quickly or no? Probably not. Can Twitch just, like, not play my own video? Can it just automatically mute itself, please? Oh, alright. Why is this so confusing? There's, like, no good, Oh my gosh, I don't care about anything new. Please stop this. I'm just trying to get rid of one item here. Why is this so confusing? Jeez. Blah 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 blah. I don't even have this blocked. Alright, I guess I'll just enter it manually. I'm sorry about that. I don't know why that's a thing. Phoenix, thank you so much for subscribing on YouTube. I really, really appreciate it. Alright, let me catch up with chat here. Sorry about that. Twitch is weird, that's why. 2 months of Adobe Express sticks to Krita. Grendel, how's everything going? Okay. Let me just, add those, because I think you guys are only going to use those in perfectly fine circumstances. I don't have those blocked. That's something that Twitch, like, manually did on its own, but hopefully that's okay now. Sorry about that. I have a big exam coming Monday. Oral exam on 3 different subjects, all in 90 minutes. Oof! Good luck, Grendel. Oh my goodness. I can't even see, here's the thing. I wish that it would just show me on my end what you're saying, because I can't even read that part. Oh, I hate this. Can I please just... Change to be blocked? Yeah, I guess it thinks it's missing the C. I don't know why. No, I got it. I manually added it, so it should be okay, but it just blocked it anyway, so I don't know why. I added it separately as a permitted word, and it wants to fight me. I'm sorry. I don't know how Twitch works. It's doing this on its own. I tried to allow it manually. It still doesn't want to play nice. I'm not sure. Ah. No, I'm not gonna be fighting anyone here. I've been wrestling with Twitch, OBS, and Discord so bad too. It seems like a lot of people are lately, frankly. It's fine with the noun present tense. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I tried to manually allow it, and it doesn't want to cooperate. Is it blocked on the YouTube side? It is. Maybe it's a restream thing. Hang on, is it a restream thing? Give me a sec. Filtering? Maybe it's a restream thing? But it's a restream thing, gosh darn it. Try it now! Oh my gosh, thank you, Vesta! Gosh darn it! Thank you, Vesta! Oh, you're right, it was a restream thing. Oh my goodness. I hate this. Ay ay ay. Helpful robot, thank you. We refuse to talk about how things were different in the past. Alright. It should be all good now. Alright, next time something like that happens, that's the first place I'm going to check. My goodness. Okay. Anyway, I hope everyone is doing well. We are going to continue with our main painting here. Last stream we were working on Ookami Mio. Let's go to our main scene here. And this is about how far we got last time. We got most of the details in. I just want to clean it up, and I still want to make sure that I'm reaching the edge there, as well as change a few more details, a few lighting scenarios and everything. This says the Clippy of Twitch. Oh, jeez. Wow, what a throwback there. I kind of like that comparison. I shall draw with you? Alright, thank you, Nixie. Also, thank you for the compliment. I really appreciate it. You seem to be struggling with your stream. Can I help? Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much, right? Alright, so last stream we were trying to figure out the clothing, and I think I've got a better handle on the clothing, and we got a lot of details in. And I know that when I was first working on this, I said, I don't know why I can't do this as fast as the first time, where we were able to finish a character in one stream. And I don't know why it took me this long, but it occurred to me that that stream where we had done, a painting of Tokino Sora, that was a 4-hour stream. So this is, the last stream for this was 2 hours, and then, you know, if we finish this at another stream, that will be the equivalent of having the length of what we did for Tokino Sora. So it's not necessarily that I'm slower, it's that that's sort of been the pace that I've worked at, and I just didn't realize it because I split the stream time. So I was wondering, like, why is this one so much slower than the other one? And it turns out it wasn't really any slower. Sora's a way simpler outfit too. That's true, yeah. I mean, I don't think any of these girls' outfits are super complicated. I think that cover does a really, really good job at hitting the right mark where there are pieces that are more complicated. I realized I accidentally erased her ear. Oops. Where they do parts that feel a little bit more complicated, but then have elements that are sort of simplified. what am I trying to say? They do a really good balance of things, is what I'm trying to say. I also want to change the way I did the hair highlight. I actually don't like this random look of it going downwards. I kind of want it coming off from the side where the moon is. Something more like this, I think, is more appropriate for the lighting. It kind of makes more sense visually, to me anyway. Sort of want to clean that up a bit. I just realized something yesterday. There's a Pokemon that has surprisingly a lot in common with you. There's a Christmas tree Pokemon. Gosh darn it, Mirage. What Pokemon would that be? I feel like I could guess some, but I'm curious what you're thinking. Kadabra. Why do you say Kadabra? I'm a bit confused why Kadabra? I mean, I could kind of see it, maybe. Darn it. Darn it, Kadabra. You're not wrong. I keep forgetting that. I thought you were going to say something like type-based, like a Ninetales or something, or... Is also smart and good with utensils, but instead of a pen, it's a spoon, both magical. Kadabra was also caught up in a lot of lawsuits? How so? I'm trying to think of, like... Oh, I remember. Yeah, Kadabra was considered the Satan Pokemon. Yeah, a lot of people did not like Kadabra. I remember that now. No? Something different? Oh, I do remember that also being a thing. I'm not sure exactly what you're referring to. Why would I be caught up in any lawsuits? What? I could have... A magician sued Nintendo because they thought Kadabra was based on him. Wait, really? Wait, I have not heard that one. I've only heard about, like, the people freaking out in the Western side of things. I didn't know about the magician thing, though. That's interesting. That is a new one to me, for sure. I remember the Kadabra Satanic Panic. Yeah, I remember there was, like, the, big Satanic Panic with Pokemon, and Kadabra was, like, considered the proof. Alright, let's see if I can try to get a good amount of lighting here on the hair. I also want to start zooming in just a little bit more, just so I can have that on record. I'm trying to figure out how to best record processes, and it's taking a lot of experimentation, but I'm going to try to zoom in, like, a little bit on various areas I'm working in, so it's not constantly zoomed out, which is just hard to see in a recording. So I'm hoping this will work out well. Again, being very rough with it. What's the one Pokemon that uses its tail as a brush? Ninetales and that... Are you thinking of Smeargle? The Beagle Pokemon? Yeah, I know that one of our, fellow VTubers, Kitsu, they identify a lot with Smeargle because they also have their tail as a brush. I am not from Ookami. I do not use my tail as a brush. Mainly because I just don't need the comparison to Ookami on my end, but hey. Smeargle, the patron of artists. I do like Smeargle, though. I mean, like, as an artist Pokemon, I am very fond of it. Like, you know, how could an artist not be fond of it? But, yeah. Tipping your tail in ink does sound bad for the fur. Yeah, I personally wouldn't want to do that. I also don't really work much with, like, full traditional ink anyway, so... Reminds me of the painter boss in the old Kirby games with the roller skates. I'm trying to remember that one. I feel like I should know that. I haven't played Kirby in a long time, so that one's sort of escaping me at the moment. Speaking of ink on fur, I'm planning to dye the boy's beard white with some safe dye and put him in Santa hats for Christmas. Oh my goodness. That sounds adorable. Alright. Is the lighting kind of making a little bit more sense? I could probably, like, push that a little bit more, but I think that's okay for now. Lighting and moonlight is tricky. It's like, I feel like I'm making a lot of it up as I go, but as long as it looks kind of decent, then hopefully it's okay. I need to get a stronger understanding of, like, actual lighting scenarios. I think that would be helpful. That's something I want to work on studying later. And I also want to redo the moon, because the moon itself could use some work. Do I have the... Okay. I still have the color, hopefully. Because I want to sort of fade this out more than I had been. Make it look a little more natural. And paint it in. See if we can go up here a little bit. Just a few small details, just to kind of give it the feeling that there's some texture on it. Not too much, but just a little bit. And it can be very rough, very loose. Just kind of giving a little bit of that crater feeling. Doesn't have to be perfect, just sort of going off of a rough thing. Just so it's not perfectly flat, that's the main thing, right? You just don't want it perfectly flat. And then the graders have a little bit of texture on the ends here. Oh, wrong area. Go back here. There we go. I don't want it to be too detailed, because what I don't want to do is distract from the main character, right? So that should still be our main focus. But just a little bit of texture here and there, right? The moon is made of cheese. Currently waiting Mori Calliope to appear at Anime NYC. Ooh, how fun, Sihiro. Also, hello, and hello, Dolphin. And hello, Ace ZL? Ace ZL Gales? How do you pronounce your name? Sorry about that. I'll try to get it right if I can. But hello, hello. Alright, just a tiny bit of texture here and there, you know? Just to kind of round it out, pun unintended. Alright, thank you for the save, Dolphin. You can call me Ace? Alright, cool. Hello, hello. Welcome in. Hopefully everything is going well. There we go, just a little bit of something there, and I feel like I'm not creating a tangent per se, but I am creating like a bit of a... It doesn't feel like it's in front of and behind. So let me see if there's something I can possibly do about that. I don't want to lose the intensity of the moon, but I feel like I just need to cut it back a little so it doesn't feel like it's overshadowing Mio. Do you see what I'm saying? I want to be careful. Because, again, I don't want to lose the vibrancy of it. Let me see if there's a nicer way I could do this. Maybe with like an overlay of sorts? No. I think, yeah, I might reduce the shading just a little bit, or I might do a bit of an artificial line, which is okay. I just want to make sure they don't look like they're stuck together, because I think that right now they do look like they're stuck together, and that's not the feeling that I would like to achieve. I'm seeing if maybe I'm not really sure how I want to tackle that. Maybe I should just make the whole thing, like, one shade darker? Let me just test that real quick. If I just got rid of a bit more of the highlight and kind of made it a little more... See, that does look better from a silhouette. I'm not really sure. I need to have a little bit. So, I have to find a good balance here, I think. I think that looks better. I think that looks less, attached. So it's less intense on the end, but I think it holds everything together stronger. And then on this end, I can be a little more generous, but not too much, because again, this is only the other end, the other side. But something like this, where you can still read the shape, is really important. The legibility of it is really important. No attachment issue present? That's good. It's interesting how that happens, but you can see how it does. So that's definitely something, if you're watching this as an artist, that's definitely something to keep in mind. Is you want to make sure that your character and the background doesn't look like they're attached to each other. Because even though I don't have tangents in the sense that the lines are separated enough that they look like they are separate objects, I still want to emphasize how different they are. Actually, adding some fur here will help as well, I think. Because this swooping ear to hair and this swooping of the moon is kind of forming the same shape. So breaking it up with some hair is definitely useful. And then you also want to make sure that based on the color change, not having the highlights being exactly the same as the moon, you're creating a sense where it doesn't feel like it's stuck to each other. So there's multiple ways that you can get those kind of tangent type things. You don't want the moon to look like a giant ear? Exactly. Exactly. We would not want that. That would be strange. I'm just gonna combine these just so I can keep painting over the layers and they don't affect anything. BRB in a bit? Alright, no worries, Vessa. I probably won't be active much in the chat, working on Genshin Impact. Alright. No worries, Phoenix. I still really appreciate you, hanging out and saying hi. I need to be more, cognizant of the fact that there are also lurkers. So for any lurkers, in the stream right now, thank you so much for lurking. I feel like I don't shout out the lurkers enough, and I need to change that. I want to get better at that. Alright, that makes me feel better about the direction, with things just feeling a little bit more separate. You know, a little bit cleaner. Alright, the hair is super messy. That's okay. I'm alright with it being a little messy. I want to push the blue highlights here a little bit. Get something that's a little more loose and textured, but sort of pushing the contrast. At least on the side here. This is where I should start learning to use textured brushes. Can I do something like that? Maybe. I've never used textured brushes, but I do think that they'll be helpful once I can sort of get a hang on them. They're a little bit more unwieldy, as you can see. Alright, I'll try to soften that up a little bit just so it doesn't... I don't want it to clash with the style I've already established, which is much more soft painterly, so I can't go too crazy with it. I might do a painting where I just try to work entirely with textured brushes and see what happens. That could be interesting. Check this out, an idea for the full moon instead of just this wolf, there's 3 of them. Gosh! Grendel, I wonder where you could have ever had that spontaneous idea. 3 Mio wolf moon. Has anyone made a parody of that? Because that would make a hilarious t-shirt design. It'd be so good. That would make a really amusing t-shirt design, not gonna lie. Alright, let's try to increase the highlight strength here just a little bit. I don't usually play with colors being this far apart, so this is a bit of an experiment for me. Just because I usually can't push myself with the contrast as much as I should. So... But let me try to bring that back and at least make sure the shape is still right. Because I think we lose the shape a little bit here. Something like that is probably fine, and then just because I can use brushes and cheat the system, we can just really quickly make it a lot more intense. And I won't push it too much, I want it to be kind of more on the subtle end, but just something that is a little more ambient, you know, a little bit with that blue. Especially on the black. It creates a nice effect here. I don't want to be too strong with it. I'm just going in very lightly. But I want it to be on the edges so that it establishes a bit of a thickness. I don't really want it here, but I might try it with a purple. Because we're trying to make the blue hair, the black hair in a cooler shade and the clothing is in a warmer shade. Does that make sense? So we're separating the hair from the clothing by pushing the color wheel in 2 different directions. Do you see that? And now we're adding a little bit more life again. I'm gonna try and... There we go. The moon is howling at the wolves. Where the heck do you get these ideas, Dolphin? I don't understand. Alright, I want to soften up the highlights here as well. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. They're just literal blobs right now, so I just want to go back in and clean them up ever so slightly. It's okay if these start feeling like they're going together because this is more of a brightness. So, if I can't really see the difference between the ear and the hairpiece, I'm not upset about that. I'm okay with that a little. I shouldn't emphasize it too much though, because that is on the other side where the moon is not present. So it shouldn't be the toughest thing, but something like that is good. I'm just gonna clean up the ears a little more. And do we ever see her? No, we don't really see the ends. Her ears are tipped though. I want to make sure I get that in there. Or not yeah, not tipped. That's the word I'm looking for. Not pointed. You can see what they're split. Her ears are split a little bit. Just sort of getting on the end here, making the pink area a little more apparent. Something like this, I think, would be good. Clean that up on the edges real fast. Add a little bit of a highlight. There we go. Kind of going to pull the ear up a little bit, because I think it gets cropped anyway, if I'm thinking about where this goes. And because I added fur tufts here, I also need to add it on the other side, otherwise it's strange to only have it on one end, right? That would be a bit awkward. But I think this makes sense here. There we go. I do feel a bit strange that the highlights are at a different strength on the wrong side. I know that's not entirely correct. It is slightly bothering me, but I think it's better than having the moon look like it's attached to the hair. So I am going to try to reduce it just a little bit more. Just so we don't have anything that's, like, extremely strong, if you know what I mean. I need to figure out a way to take, like, this main brush I use and just have, like, a textured version of it. That would probably be great. If I ever figure out how to make custom brushes entirely. Yeah, I don't think that's too bad. I'm gonna grab a darker piece here, make sure we're getting the rest of her hair. That's okay, that's all good. Get rid of this strange dark piece that I think is part of the old sketch layer. Separate my dog's hair from my clothing with a sticky roller thing. Yeah, I need a giant sticky roller thing for the moon. That'd be great. Thanks, Grendel. Dark side of the moon, but not of the moon. Alright, what else? Oh, she also has a black stripe here on the detail of the shirt. I don't want to forget that either. And this kind of gets thrown off by the really strong light, so that doesn't show the detail anymore. And, oh. Hang on. Auto-saving here. Try to add some loose hairs a little bit. Just to kind of break up the silhouette. You guys can tell at this point that I'm really focused on silhouette. It's really important in terms of composition and legibility. So, like, this just sort of looked like a tube, and by adding extra strands, I'm creating more of a hair-looking silhouette, if that makes sense. And I'm using the highlights to do the same thing, sort of breaking up the shape a little bit more. It all kind of goes hand in hand a bit. Actually reduce that. I have a question. Am I using some sort of tablet and stylus baton? What? What would... Yeah, Mirage just got it. I'm basically using a crystal here, but no, I wouldn't use a computer mouse. That would be very difficult. Most digital artists that you find are not using computer mice. They are using pens, wands, in my case, the crystal point of my wand. But yeah, very rare you're gonna find a digital artist using a mouse. I mean, it does happen. There are people who do it. What is, we talked about it in the Discord at one point. There is a man who's considered the grandfather of digital painting, and he always did everything with a mouse because nothing else existed at the time. And to this day, most people don't know how he even does it, but it's not something most artists recommend. Let's just put it that way. You know, you don't have to really reinvent the wheel there. So yeah, either get yourself a wand or a pen or a rune or whatever works for you, really. I used to work with runes, but they tend to be more finicky, so I stick more with crystals at this point. I know a guy that was an amazing digital artist that used a mouse. It was all he ever had. There's a much steeper learning curve, but ultimately your tools matter far less than yourself. Yeah, I definitely agree with that, Mirage. Like I said, there are people who can do it. If it's what you have, then you work with it, but if you don't need to... If you have the means of getting a wand or a pen, I would suggest that. Just because working with a mouse is much harder. If you're determined to work with a mouse, you absolutely can. It will just be much trickier. Chat artists use their mouse on Microsoft Paint exclusively. Have you seen the video? Has anyone seen the video of the Microsoft Paint Santa Claus? Because every time someone brings Microsoft Paint up, that's the first thing I end up thinking of, is the Microsoft Paint Santa Claus. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? I'm curious if anyone here has seen that. Maybe not. Could probably start working on some basic techniques with a mouse even if you plan to upgrade to a more modern setup. The problem is that you just, you have very little control, and you also have, no pen pressure. So if you're doing something like, you know, 3D box modeling or pixel art, I think that using a mouse is fine, but for anything where you want, where anything where you need pen pressure is where you need a pen. And I mean, like you said before, you can just work with whatever you have. I've done finger painting before on on digital tablets, but it does make things trickier. Like, if you're going to be working that way, you are somewhat limited to the art style. Like, you're not going to be able to be sketching something that looks like it came out of a Disney character design book, let's say, because those are very fluid and quick. But you might be able to work with something that still looks very good, just in a different look. So, ultimately you might be limited, but you can still make work. I haven't seen the video, but read a super wholesome article about an elderly gentleman who spent his final days with Microsoft Paint and made some remarkable pieces bearing the MS Paint limitation. Wow. Okay. I am starting to get lost in the sauce a bit. I can feel that. Let me try to focus on getting the collarbone in here. Yeah, I did used to show my whole paw on screen, but it did get in the way a lot, I think, and I think that this method is less intrusive. I don't know, for those of you guys who have been here when that was around, do you prefer this so that you can see what's on the screen easier? Because I think that's what it ultimately comes down to, is being able to see things clearer. I want to add a little bit more highlight here before I forget. And I just want to make this part a little bit darker because that would be a fold in the hair. As well as this part of the hair should have a little bit more shadow to show some volume. Get some volume on the lemon here. Some volume on the skin tone. There we go. Oh, I don't want to move anything here. I googled and found not one but two very talented oldies who excel in Microsoft Paint. I mean, yeah, it really is based on you versus the tools, you know? I know there's this one artist who did all of his work. He didn't have any money for supplies. He did all of his work on Starbucks cups. And then he would, like, stack all the Starbucks cups with individual work on them. It was really interesting. You really, you shouldn't let the materials limit you too much. You really can work with anything you have. I mean, if you are an artist, you're going to pick up a stick and draw in the dirt, you know? If you're just like bored and waiting around, you'll work with whatever you have around you. Pretty much. Okay. I do want to fix her face later. I'm just sort of getting all the other details out first, because I think that'll make it easier to focus on the face. Plus, I'm trying to abide by the idea of an order when it comes to where to put details. Because usually, you know, we get your base done first, and then you add details, and then you can start going crazy with things like the sparkles in the eyes and everything. Let me try and... I'm just gonna throw a pure line in there because I can't separate that hair as nicely as I'd like to. Let me just make that easier to see. It should be good. Some of the more orange highlights should also be thrown in here, just to tie it in, tie it together. I don't want it to be too distracting. So, something around there is probably good. Don't know what we're doing here with the hair, really. Where else needs to be worked on? Alright, we're just gonna make some darker lines here to hold the pieces together. It's not really line art, like I've mentioned before. It's like painting over with a line. Just kind of clean up that whole area, you know? This needs to go down a bit more. We need to clean this up a little. And... something like that should work. And I'm just sort of adding a dark color to tie it all. I'm basically just pushing color around until it's behaving correctly. You know? That's what most of this is. Just sort of forcing it to obey you. To work with you, anyway. Probably best to treat it more like a Pokemon. Work with your color. It's your partner in crime. Murthy, thank you so much for resubscribing. I hope you're doing well. Thank you, thank you. Alright. A little bit more of where this turn is. Hopefully everything is going well with you. There we go. Doing alright? Totally didn't just wake up. For some reason your icon isn't loading on my end. Okay. That's cleaner. This is cleaner. This needs to be a bit cleaner. This could stay a little cleaner. There we go. Alright. That should be settled. That's all painted over. Twitch doing weird things. Alright, your icon's back now. Twitch has been doing weird things, except, actually what we thought was Twitch was actually Restream, so I can't blame Twitch on that one. As easier as it is to blame Twitch. It's looking good? Thank you. I appreciate that. Alright. I need to move a little bit faster along, so I'm just going to focus on the stomach area here, cleaning up all of this stuff. Move a little bit faster. I probably don't need to be as crazy focused on things no one will see as I have been. But that's just something I'm working towards. Oh, I'm trying to get better with just working a bit looser, which in a lot of cases can be more appealing, but it's still really hard for me. Like, I was doing a commission the other day, and if I was just doing this, if it was just something for myself, I would just sort of slapdash and be fine with it. And the entire point of the commission was to practice, being looser with things. Like, the commissioner wanted something that I was calling experimental. And I still couldn't get myself to loosen up with it. It's something I'm really gonna have to work on, I think. But I am determined to eventually get there, at least. But yeah, I just need to learn when to simplify things, and it's not easy yet. I don't know. Do you guys ever feel that in your fields? Do you ever feel like it's, tricky to simplify your ideas down or something, especially if it's, like, in anticipation for somebody else? I just have trouble with that. I don't know. I was not in fact censored by Twitch, but by Restream. Yeah. But now we know! Now we know that if there's anything else weird going on, then we can most likely check there first, right? Hopefully that's the only word that needs to be changed, though. I think all the others are pretty justified in being blocked. Alright, again with the loose threads, I will try to refrain from doing any more loose details on the hair. That's probably something that I should save for the end. And this should be more of a blue to match the hair. I'm not sure why I went to purple. Just not paying attention, I guess. And just erase anything here that seems a little bit out of order, out of work here. Something like that. Lurking, just wanted to pop in and say hi. I'm playing Pokemon Violet while laying in bed. Nice cozy day. Hello, Emerald. It's lovely to see you. Things are going well. We're just sort of moving along with the final details of the painting. I'm hoping that you're enjoying Violet. I really wish that I could enjoy, where the franchise is going more than I do, and a lot of that could just be fuddy-duddy old Pokemon fan, but I don't know. I'm guessing that's probably what the majority of it is. But there are still some features that I like in it, so I have done some fan art still. Because it's still a giant part of my life. But I hope that you're enjoying it. I hope you haven't run into any super crazy glitches. heard not paying attention and immediately popped out of Sony Note. Thank you, Phoenix. I appreciate it. Also, it's really, it's nice to see you in a stream. We are working as we go. Phoenix, at some point, I should show you a, I have a, Phoenix sticker on Etsy, and it completely goes against my own Discord rules, frankly, but it's probably my best seller on Etsy, and I think you might be amused just to see it. So, remind me to show you later, because I think it's amusing, to say the least. I guess I'm more amused that a lot of people resonate with it, but... yeah, it's just a silly sticker design, but it's like the only thing I sell in my Etsy store now. Like, it's legitimately the only thing I sell in my Etsy store. I don't know, I hit good SEO because I don't think there's a lot of Phoenix products, so everyone who's bought it is is someone who has to do with the Phoenix in some way, shape, or form. I've sold one to a guy who is named Phoenix. I've sold one to people who live in like Phoenix, Arizona. It's funny. It's like there's just not enough Phoenix merch out. The frame rate makes me cry sometimes, but that's my only gripe so far. I'm enjoying it more than I thought I would. It's leagues better than Sword and Shield. I'm glad to hear that. Of the 5 people live right now I follow, 3 are playing Scarlet and Violet, 1 is sleeping, and I'm here with Starlight. I do appreciate that, Murthio. You could be burnt out on Pokemon. I haven't played since Silver back in '99. I picked up Scarlet, and it's quite fun, though definitely needed more time in the oven. I think for me, it's entirely a design perspective, because my main love of Pokemon comes in the character design, and this is entirely personal preference, but I just don't think I'm as much of a fan of the art direction, because the art direction's definitely changed. It's definitely going in a new direction. That is really clear to me over the past few generations. And some people love it, and that's totally valid. I personally just don't think I'm as much of a fan of it. I like all of my Pokemon to feel like, more monster-like, and I think that they're kind of getting away from that a bit. Which, you know, that's fine, things evolve and change. That's just the part that I've always liked the most, so... But again, that's just personal preference. It goes against my Discord rules. Is it mortality related or something? It's not mortality related. It's just fresher. It's like it has a word in it that I believe is technically considered a swear, but I don't know. I don't know. It's like it's something that in most circumstances I probably wouldn't allow other people to post, but I don't know, it's a gray area. Like, it's nothing super bad, it's just one of those, it's more on a technical ability. Or not ability, technical level. It is a swear, but it's a fitting swear. It's annoying that it is. I tried making one that was the exact same design with a different word, and it didn't sell at all. Like, people wanted the more aggressive nature of it, I suppose. I tried doing a kid-friendly version, and it totally flopped. It's one of those things where, like, I wouldn't entirely think it is nearly as bad as most swears, but it is something that they still, like, you know, block on television shows or something. Understandably so, though, since most of the people purchasing would be adults and anyone who wanted the message would probably want the aggression. Very true. The glitches might be half the fun of an open-world Pokemon game. Yeah, you can find Missing No. There you go. When I was a kid, I really liked the edgy and dangerous-looking Pokemon, like Charizard and Nidoking. And now I'm over the moon. I have this weird Woozle in a floaty and a Mudhooper. See, that's the thing. I'm still very much attached to the edgy and dangerous Pokemon like Charizard and Nidoking. Like, to me, that is, like, peak essence of Pokemon. And I feel like they're really getting away from that lately, and it kind of makes me sad. And I'm glad that they brought back a lot of the old Pokemon, but I am also sort of confused at some of the choices. Like, well, no, I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm actually not gonna say. But yeah, lots of new forms of older Pokemon, which is interesting. Have I seen Ceruledge or whatever it's called? The thing's just a Digimon. Yeah, either what were people saying, Digimon or Mega Man? It looks like it's straight out of Mega Man, honestly. I don't know, I miss my kaiju-looking Pokemon, you know what I mean? Like, honestly, if I had to... Again, what I'm saying here is purely opinion, but in my personal opinion, Nidoking is like the ultimate Pokemon-feeling Pokemon to me. Like, I've always felt that. I've always felt that Nidoking just sort of, like, encompassed what a Pokemon felt like. Mega Man what? We were saying that, that one of the new Pokemon, looks like it's straight out of Mega Man. That's because the old Game Boy games use either Nidoking or Rhydon as the basis for the statues. That's true, yeah, that's probably a huge part of it. The statues absolutely feel like very iconic. Yeah, you're right, that's probably a huge part of it. And then like Nidorino and Gengar are sort of like how the game opens, so it makes sense. I think the new Pokemon feel inherently different from older Pokemon. I think it's the level of detail. Old Pokemon had a lot of rules to follow and needed simpler designs. What do you mean when you say rules to follow? Do you mean like the limitations of the hardware? Because I think the thing now is like, I've kind of debated on, I was thinking this morning, I'm like, you know what, I sort of want to do a video on like how Pokemon design has changed and why I don't think it's as effective, but I also don't want to piss off Pokemon fans because that would be, you know, dangerous waters. But I don't know, like, I think my, gripe with it is that they're adding things that make the Pokemon look more quote-unquote complex, but in my opinion, it's not really done in a very clean way. I feel like a lot of it feels like things that get thrown on top of each other. I don't find that it's as cohesive. I'm apparently slapping a sleeping bear with my last Star Trek video. Are you? Are the fans, like, ready to attack? I didn't see the comment section, but I can imagine. Kangaskhan too? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, and I get it, everyone's just gonna say that, like, Rhydon and Kangaskhan and Nidoking all feel like the same Pokemon, but to me they just sort of had, like, a design essence that I think has been lost. And if other people enjoy the new Pokemon, again, I have no issue with that. I personally, feel a bit, lost from it, I guess. And I think that a lot of the new Pokemon, I saw someone in the comments say that, it feels a lot more like Yokai Watch, which I think is actually really accurate. I don't know, it makes me feel really sad and fuddy-duddy because I've been so attached to the entire franchise. So then when these things change, it feels weird. It just kind of feels off. And it makes me sad because I want to like it, but I can't really force myself to. So, I don't know. Forget anger when Pokemon fans. Conflict drives engagement, they'll get angry anyway. You make an unfortunately good point, Dolphin. I once beat Brock's Onyx with a Pidgey, most hilarious gym battle ever. That is the power of mythical birds right there. How did you do that? I'm dying to know. Also, Ho-Oh is one of my favorite Pokemon, so just throwing that out there. I made allusions to the fact that one iteration of the ship uses Star Wars parts because ILM was behind the models and used in the movies in TNG. Oh my gosh. Ethel Mary, thank you so much for following on Twitch. I really, really appreciate it. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and welcome in. I'll share a snapshot of a certain conversation in DMs, okay. I'm not gonna understand any of it, but I'll probably understand the general feeling of people being outraged. Alright, these are getting a little cleaner now, which is good. Just gonna add some more detail here, just so that things are a little smoother. There we go. And I still need to repeat that a little bit here. Actually, this should be... I want to make this darker, and then use the bounce light to keep the silhouette going, if that makes sense. You see what I'm saying? Like, this part is darker here, but I still have a little bit of the bounce light, so we're keeping the silhouette, because if it was just dark on dark, then it just gets lost. So I keep a tiny bit of the silhouette here, so that you can actually see what's going on. There we go. Again, not really too sure if I'm playing perfectly with the lighting, but we're just having fun today, you know? We're just having fun and talking about, Pokemon hot takes. Yeah, I'm honestly, like, one of the biggest Pokemon fans that I know, so the direction is what's just throwing me off so much, because I'm like, I've been so attached to the whole thing. I don't know. Like, I have a lot of investment in it. I used to be a huge merch collector, for one, so that's definitely a huge part of it. But it's also just been, like, one of the closest franchises to me on many levels, really, so. But based on the fact that a lot of the, variant Pokemon in Paldea seem to be very Johto heavy, it kind of makes me curious if we might get a Johto remake, which would make me extremely happy, and I would buy that in an absolute heartbeat. So I don't know. We'll see. I think I like Johto as much as I do because it is one of the strongest senses of the whole, like, Godzilla type mechanic with the Pokemon who really feel like, you know, ancient and powerful. Sorry for the long AFK. Hello, Vessa. And hello, Punkle. How are you? What was one of your favorites? One of your music made me think of Ho with a Machamp body. What? Dolphin, what on earth? That sounds like the, that Bidoof thing where people are, like, trying to draw the, like, Bidoof with all the legendaries. What do you eat? I'm not even sure I want to know. Johto was like 3 games in 1, true. Yeah, Johto just felt very... I don't know. I feel like I'm repeating myself on stream a bit, because I know that we've had this talk before, but to me, Johto just feels the most, like, full, like you're saying, it's like 3 games in 1, but it also felt like it had the most, like, depth to it, I suppose. And I know there's other games that have had other stories. I think, like, Black and White probably had the most depth in terms of story by far. But everything about the area of Johto just felt very, ceremonial? No, that's not the right word. I don't know. Because it's based on Kyoto, right? Everything kind of just had more of a... I don't know how to say it. It just had a very, very pleasing atmosphere to me. And I really hope that they bring that back because I loved Heart Gold and Soul Silver. And that was the remake of Gold and Silver, but it was on the DS, right? Yeah. So I'm really hoping that they would be open to doing something on the Switch. It felt older and more traditional? Yeah, exactly. Vessa, I don't know how to... Why do you keep asking for Pokemon with accents that Pokemon can't make? I don't know how to do that. I can't do that, I'm sorry, hang on. That was Thorn that asked for the British accent. I can't do a Pokemon with a human accent. That doesn't work. It's hard enough to do a Pokemon that you can actually consider being close to the Pokemon, and then to add, like, another accent on top of the Pokemon's accent? What is that? Chikuya? It doesn't work. envision how it's supposed to work, it doesn't work. It's hard enough to make sure that it actually sounds like Chikorita, and now you're adding a whole other element to making it sound like a Chikorita that's in, like, some part of a specific country. I can't envision it. I can't get it in my head to understand what it should even sound, that it should even sound close to, because I can't picture the Pokemon and the accent at the same time, and I can't combine them, so nothing I do is going to be accurate in the slightest. You're killing me. No, I have no idea. I clearly can't do both at the same time. It doesn't work. I have no idea how that's going to work at all. It's hard enough to do a Pokemon, let alone with another accent. Oh, jeez. Hello Raiders from Cat Sensei's stream. How's everyone doing? Hello. I hope you're all doing well. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Starlight. I am a Celestial Fox, and I am currently painting various agency VTubers. Today we are painting Ookami Mio. And we are almost done. We've got a few more details to go here, but if you ever have any questions about anything art related, if there's anything that I can answer on stream, I love trying to help people out. So let me know and enjoy your stay for sure. The cat sent us. Now I question you on what Villager, what the heck? We've been educated today? Oh, I bet. You guys, you were doing the, if I'm not mistaken, you were doing a collab with Vtuber Senpai, right? I really want to go back and see the rest of that VOD and see what you guys were talking about, because, you know, Rayless and Vtuber Senpai are both very, very smart in the education space. I definitely want to see what they were talking about. What did you guys get from it? What was your favorite part of it? Cold North, oh my gosh. Brandon, thank you so much. We are sort of finishing up the details. I'm cleaning up the edges here, making sure everything feels nice and spiffy, and then I'm going to clean up the face a lot, because there's a lot to do there still. No, Dolphin, that's not happening. I really need to quit laying the quest file up. Feel like I waited till last second to do my homework. Phoenix, get your work done! Also, thank you for the save, Dolphin. I feel like I've suffered about 80 punches directly to the brain, but overall, a lot of things I have to change about my entire existence on YouTube. Oh, that sounds very interesting. I'm dying to know what they talked about that sort of threw your mindset that strongly. That's intense. Alright, we need to paint bells, I believe. Let me just check if I have that right. On the back of her outfit, right? Yeah, there's a bell on either side. So I'm just adding some spheres here. You see this is all on one layer. And I'm just going in and adding a bell right on top and then cleaning it up as I go. That's sort of how I do a lot of these speed paint works, is I just base everything all on one layer here. So we're just going to get a little bit of a rounded shape here. See what we can do. It's hard to draw on digital, I prefer paper. I understand that. I definitely understand that. It takes a while to get used to digital. There's a lot that is more focused on the hand-eye coordination aspect, especially if you're using a graphic tablet that is not, that doesn't have a screen on it. I think that in most cases, in my experience, it takes people about, I want to say a month to get used to the feeling of using a digital tablet, except a lot of people quit early because they don't really know that it should be taking that long to get comfortable with. So they just sort of think that they're bad at using it. Which is sad, because it's not that they're bad at using it, it's that it really does take a long time to get used to the feeling of it. You know, it's like when you first start off playing video games, you're not immediately good, right? Anyone who plays video games here, I'm sure that your hand-eye coordination has increased from playing those games. And it's the same thing, because personally, I don't use a graphic tablet, I use a spellbook and a crystal. But for other people who use graphic tablets, it can be hard to get used to. And then a lot of people move on to a screen tablet, which doesn't have the same hand-eye coordination issues. Brandon Ramirez, thank you so much for subscribing on YouTube. I really, really appreciate it. But yeah, I just, it's sad, because I think a lot of people would be alright with it if they were aware that it takes a while to get used to, if they knew that that was a normal thing, you know? Every time they said, now we're not trying to be mean, I feel like they were trying to be mean. I'm definitely gonna have to see what they were talking about, for sure. I've learned a lot from both Rayless and Senpai. I owe them a lot to the reason that I'm still doing this. Yeah, really, I owe them both a lot to the fact that I haven't quit doing this, and I'm happy I haven't, because I really like talking to people about the techniques and helping others and everything. I'm used to digital, I draw with a tablet and stylus, though. Yeah, I think it's also good to be able to sort of go back and forth as well. I definitely don't work traditionally as much as I used to. Hand-eye coordination's worth learning anyway? True, I'm just saying, like, I think that for a lot of people here, that might be an easier comparison is with games, right? And I think that even if you, even if that's something that you're weak in, there's different art styles where you don't have to focus on that nearly as much. I'm actually exploring a lot of styles where that isn't as much of a necessity. But I think a lot of people just get frustrated because they don't realize that it's just sort of part of the process in the beginning. They also said about how it's a good thing to be talking a lot to chat. Yeah, there you go, right? Didn't expect to be learning stuff on a Saturday about streaming, VTubing, and digital art, but I'm thoroughly enjoying myself. I'm glad to hear that, Brandon. Yeah, my main thing here is digital art. I have a lot of people who ask questions if they are an artist, and I also like amusing people who do not do art themselves, but just sort of like a little insight into the process. I like trying to be transparent and helping others. Also, thank you, Murdoch, for the Discord post up. If you are an artist, or if you just enjoy art yourself, or if you just want updates on when I go live, feel free to join the Discord channel. We would be happy to help you. It's a very family-friendly, safe for work, cozy type of place. And if you want to hang out with us, I would be happy to have you. Alright, let's get a little bit more shadow in here. There we go. So, you see how I'm, like, sort of painting over everything I'm doing and allowing myself to just get the form, most of all? That's the most important part to me, is getting the form right. That's not the place for me? No, that's fine. It's not for everybody, and that's totally fine. The process is hard. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of it, you know, a lot of it takes trial and error and everything. What are my plans for upcoming future streams? Who do I intend to draw next? I'm thinking that I want to try and continue painting the gamers. I really like a lot of their designs. I might try and... I'm thinking of either painting Korone or Fubuki. I'm not sure yet. Because the next stream is going to be Tuesday. I might also do a stream of the holiday assets, because for those of you who don't know, I make a lot of Vtuber assets of various holidays. And the next one that we are going to be doing is going to be for the winter holidays. And I have finished the line art for about half of them. And I was thinking I might be able to do a little bit of a teaser, coloring a few of them on stream, and you guys can get a little bit of a sneak peek as to what's to come, because I'm not going to be sharing too much of the process for that one in particular, because, and you guys are the first to hear about this, so, you know, a little bit of a sneak peek here. The assets are going to be done advent calendar style. And I thought that that would be a really fun way to sort of do things in a holiday fashion. So you're sort of the first to be getting a little bit of a teaser on that one, and maybe next stream it might be nice to do some painting for some of those, and you guys get some sneak peeks there. But yes, you're the first to hear about that, officially. How'd it go with the Halloween one? It actually went pretty well. I think a lot of people enjoyed having a lot of people really like the devil and angel wings for some reason. That ended up being like the vast majority of the use case. And I don't really know why. How do I usually do, with line art? It makes my skin crawl when I do it. So, one thing you might notice is that I don't do line art much on stream. And the reason for that is because it is extremely time consuming. Especially because I'm trying to make everything, like, very clean and precise. So, I rarely do line art on streams for that reason. I sort of base my streams on what I know I can get done in an orderly fashion, which is why I started doing a lot of these Hololive speed paintings, because I kind of know it better. The speed painting style, you know? They don't have to be as precise in terms of perfectly clean line art or perfectly clean shading. It's all very loose and painterly. And I find that that has been easier to work with doing live work. So in terms of line art, I don't, it's also very, very time consuming for me as well. So if line art takes you a really long time, don't be embarrassed or anything, because I think that's normal, even for total professionals. I see some speed paints of people that I actually try and check out. Like real professionals in the industry, they skip their line art in their speed paints completely because it would be like half the speed paint. Now, some people are really good at line art, they can do it very quickly, but I find that to be less common. In my experience, at least. If you're fast with line art, then more power to you. Line art takes 90% of the time? Yeah. For sure. We did awesome with the seasonal VTuber assets. Thank you so much, Talon. I appreciate it. I will make you into gingerbread. Funny you should say that. Funny you should actually say gingerbread North, because I'm hoping to make that an add-on with the advent calendar. I'm hoping to do an add-on for custom gingerbread asset. I should probably be careful about talking too much about this stuff on stream, just so that someone doesn't, like, weirdly beat me to it, but... yeah, I should probably learn to not speak too much of all the plans. But you guys are the first to know about the advent calendar, and it is... it's close to being done. I'm hoping to get it done completely by the end of the month, so that it can start immediately on December 1st. A gingerbread accent? No. What is wrong here? Hang on one sec. Alright. Keep your cards. Yeah, I'm not good at that. I get too excited. But I trust you guys. I mean, I hope I can trust you guys. Be good, hopefully. I really like the asset ideas I do, and I kind of want to try to stand out with them a bit if I can. And I want to find new ways to make them even better next year. Alright. Make sure I don't paint over things too much. And get a little bit of the detail here for the bell. I get too excited about ideas and I don't really have enough people to share it with, and then I end up sort of blabbing on stream, and it's not great. It's fine though, it's all good. In paper, I prefer doing only line art, and in digital I liked color, but I'm not that good at it. Yeah, it's tricky. I definitely think there's a quality to line art in a traditional sense that isn't quite as... doesn't quite translate as well digitally, but, you know. Another fellow VTuber artist like me. Talon, I think we have very different styles. I'm not too worried there. I don't plan on getting into the horror genre anytime soon. I'm not good with painting, but perfectly content with my illustration-like style. If only my perfectionist mind would stop making me want to trash my stuff and start over. Oh, I feel that. I can definitely relate, Brandon. I guess the way that I try to think about it is, like, the work that I'm doing now is, and this is sort of something that has taken me a while to understand. The work I'm doing now, I think, is the best for the level I'm currently going to be at. And by next year, I'll probably know how much I could keep improving. So I sort of have to think of it more like a process, because by next year, I'm sure that I won't think that this is very good. So that's sort of how I have to think about it, is like, it's more of the process, especially for me. At the moment, doing this style, for anyone who has been watching me earlier, they know that I have been working with human characters not for the longest time. So I've sort of been learning as I go a little bit, and I know that things are going to change, so I'm sort of using these pieces as a way to quickly finish something, but still be able to practice the process. I'm not really sure if that makes sense, or I'm just sort of, like, talking wildly. Alright, this is clean, clean, clean. We still have more bells to work with. Do the ties have the bell ends or not? I suppose they don't. No, they're more like beads. Okay. The actual bells are here then. I'd hate to have my ideas being stolen. I wouldn't do that, especially to my friends. Yeah, there you go. I've had some people who I can kind of tell have been heavily inspired by things I've done. And I try to sort of let that go. But for the most part, I think it's just really important to try to find your unique identity on things. Sort of like what makes you stand out. I've kind of taken that approach. I won't go into this too much, but especially with all the AI stuff, you just have to sort of figure out what makes you stand out beyond just the technical part. And I think that's what I've learned a lot this year. Very recently. Very, very recently. But I think it's a really important lesson for all of us as content creators. You know, it's kind of like, you know, going back to another game example, it's kind of like you might not be the best player at a game, and you might not be the worst in terms of being able to turn it all into comedy. So what are you doing that stands out the most? And then lean into that. And that's what I'm learning as of late that goes beyond just the technical. You still want to practice the technical, you still want to, you know, you still want to be at a level where you're still working to improve and such, but it's important to also focus on everything beyond that. Alright, how do these bells work? Got this little, I want to get the shading beneath here first. Just so I don't forget that. Because these are metallics, so they're going to have some strong highlights and shading. You'd be surprised, Star, even though I'm horror artist, I could do cute kawaii art as well. In fact, I did that before I got into horror art. That's interesting. It's crazy how much things can evolve, right? Because I used to do things that were not horror, but definitely, definitely darker. Because I thought that the only path for the longest time was, Western Game Studio. And I was definitely not cut out for it. There's most of the characters I still probably would not feel comfortable painting. But there was a time where I did try. And because I couldn't draw humans, I would try to do it in any other avenue, like a background or animal creature. Thank you for the save, Dolphin. I really appreciate that. You get a sub and I have to leave as I have videos to watch. Alright. Appreciate it, Villager. Wishing you the best for the rest of your day. You inspire me, but in a different way, not a copy rip-off way. I would never think of you doing that, Vessa. I think it's pretty clear when you see something that you can tell was inspired by you. I think the parts that you try to make yourself stand out, that you see someone else copying directly, I think it's pretty clear. But I don't think you've done that, so you are all good there. And it's one of those things where, like, people talk about flattery and everything, but it can be tricky when you've built up something that you really want to call your own. But that's why I think it's important to lean into things that go beyond just technical ability. Because everyone can get, you know, a good technical ability. That's something that everyone can learn from and then adapt to their own uses. As an artist, what's your take on the current Twitter downfalling? I'm personally hoping that it doesn't falter too much. Filcher, thank you for the YouTube sub, I appreciate it. Because I don't love the platform in terms of all the drama that we all know it for, but I do think that the way that you can create, like, giant threads of tweets is very unique. And I kind of don't want to lose that because that's been really useful in terms of art posting, because I like posting, like, the process or attaching the speed paint or whatever. And the other platforms don't have anything like that, so I kind of don't want that to go away. I also think it's easier to respond to comments. It just has an easier interface. I don't think it's going to fall apart. I do think a lot of people are, freaking out a lot. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's still too early to tell. I think a lot of people are creating a lot of panic. Pidgey impersonation. I don't know who did that, but hang on a sec. Twitter has a lot of problems, but the UI and interface are really nice. Yeah, true. True. I need to make sure that I save the, that I save any bookmarks just in case. Again, I don't think anything's really gonna happen. I think that a lot of people are sort of creating more panic than there needs to be. Was that you, Emerald? Now do Pidgey with a Swedish accent? I can't. No more asking for real-world accents with Pokemon, unless you can provide me an example. I can't picture both the Pokemon and the accent at the same time. It doesn't work. It's hard enough to make sure the accent is as non-cringy as possible, and it adds a whole new level of confusion when I have to throw a second accent onto another. We're like doubling the accents here. You're double dipping is what you're doing. The point of the accent is to add the cringe. See, I'm hoping that the impressions as they are not 100% cringe. I'm hoping that there is still a tiny bit of it that is somewhat valid. But who knows anymore? What is this Pokemon impersonation class? On Twitch. Yeah, I should probably, like, clear that up or something. Yukiya, thank you so much for resubscribing on Twitch. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you. Also, hello. How's everything been going? I hope you're doing well. Alright, I just sort of want to add a little bit more thickness here. It's 200% cringe, but that's why we love it. So the, if it wasn't clear to anyone, the way that I'm doing the impersonations are based on the anime version. Alright, I think we're about good here. Ah! Don't want to paint in the wrong color. That should be good. I'd be scared if you could sound like the game version. Yeah, no, I'm not an 8-bit machine. I don't know, Vessa, maybe you could. That should be more or less good. How's everything going, Yukiya? I'm doing well. We're finishing up Ookami Mio. I think at this point I just have to do the hands, the skirt, and the face, and then we should be good. Assuming I can sound like that just because I'm a robot, so much prejudice. Isn't that kind of the whole... That would be like being a cat and having people assume you could meow. Like, yeah, they would think that. I would think that that's a pretty valid prejudice. To be a robot, to sound like a robot. Alright, I don't want to forget the little lip here on the bell. Can't argue with that logic. I dare you to do the Pokedex cries of the Pokemon that you just did the impersonation on. Now that could be a challenge. I'd have to hear that a lot more. But again, I'm not a robot. I have a friend who's a robot, but I'm not one, and therefore I cannot do that. Can Rayless meow? Vessa can meow, at least she told me she... Yeah, Rayless can definitely meow. Rayless has a very cute meow. I shall teach you to speak the language of the Vessas. Alright, I want to make sure I'm not flipping the canvas too much because I'm going to start seeing that on the recording, and I'm trying to avoid that as much as possible. I think I did this backwards, didn't I? I mean, it's not entirely backwards. I usually do work, dark to light, but because this is metallic, it kind of should go the other way. Shoot. Oh well. It's fine. No, this is backwards. How am I doing this? I think I totally did this backwards. Oh well. He is a cat, so yes. What is your favorite fast food restaurant and why is it Wendy's? Because it's affordable? It's the only affordable, fast food restaurant left, frankly. Yeah. Like, it's legitimately the only affordable one left. Gotta stop flipping the canvas, but it just makes my life easier to be able to do so. Is Wendy's actually your favorite? I'm genuinely curious. I won't be mad if it isn't. Yeah, I'd say so. It's the, it's probably the most accessible. Alright. Are we almost done with the bells? I sure hope so, because I'm getting a little tired of painting the bells. I'm gonna have to paint more for Christmas. So many bells. Is that why you were Wendy's join a specific story? I can't answer that, because that's not even my place to answer. I don't think I was in control of that one way or another. Alright, oh, can't forget the actual part that makes it a bell. That sounds kind of important. Shoot. I'll have to make sure that let me just add a shadow to that real quick, just so it doesn't feel like it's, part of the same object, like we were saying before, right? Being able to color things and separate them. So that it doesn't feel like they are tied together so much. Good enough, that works. Bessa, I don't even know what sound it makes! Wait, why did you... Chingling? I don't think I've even heard Chingling at all. Oh, wait. Oh, a sketch. Wait, my brain. Okay. Okay. Hang on a second. I'm getting so confused in my life. Alright, I don't know what they look like anymore. Didn't I say... Wait, is Chingling Generation 4? Have I said Generation 1 through 4 on this? You said you were tired of drawing bells, so I redeemed a Chingling sketch because I am evil. Fair enough. I genuinely can't remember what they look like. I can see the mouth. I don't know what it looks like. I'm sorry, I was just being a smarty pants. I'll draw one if you're okay with me looking at a reference. Would you be okay with that? Can we compromise? If you'll allow me to compromise, then I will sketch a Chingling. But you gotta let me know. Deal? Okay. Okay, I could think of the mouth, and I would have gotten the body, but I would not have known what the ties looked like. I think I would have gotten the body, though. I think I would have, like, I would have questioned if it really was just stubby little hands and feet. But I think I would have ended up doing that anyway. Alright, let's have some, let's throw some color in here. Let's have some weird fun with this. Let's give it some neutral gray background just to play around. And we'll just have fun for a really quick amount of time. And we will see how it goes. Just very quickly throw in some color here. Get the base. Lock that. And I'm going to start playing around with a weirder color because I'm just feeling a little bit experimental. And let's see. I mean, it's basically just a giant ball with feet, so it's not even giant, they're tiny. How big are these things? They're like, I don't know. They're like 1.5 feet, it looks like. This is basically just learning to draw Kirby. But, like, the Pokemon version. This is essentially just the Pokemon version of Kirby. If I just remembered what the, if I just remembered what the head part looked like, I think I could have done this from memory. But, oh well. Remember when there was only Generation 1, seeing the anime laid on Cartoon Network back in grade school? It still boggles my mind we're at over 800. I know, right? Deep fried Kirby. Jeez, Talon. Why? Why would you say that? That's terrible. Yeah, I could have done this. I would have... This eye is way off. I would have gotten this far, and then I would have not known where to go. But I would have gotten as far as the face, and the stubby hands and feet. And then I would have gotten stuck. And then I would have started asking for hints. Ah! Don't lose your arm! Part of me kind of just wants to do Pokemon for 5 minutes not from memory now because it's so much more appealing when it doesn't look like garbage. You see, I'm just sort of like painting over any mistakes I'm making. If I'm like getting things in the wrong order, I just paint over it again. That is a quicker way to work, in my experience. Just sort of going over it back and forth until you're getting the right shapes. I'm trying to draw one along with you. Nice. Yeah, I'm basically just trying to get the general idea, the general shape here. I heard today's stream is about bells. For the last 5 minutes, it will be. The last few minutes, I suppose. We're gonna go back to Mio in just a sec, but Vesa redeemed a bell Pokemon because she likes to torture me. And I was just saying how much I thought that I had been drawing enough regarding bells, and she's like, well, you clearly haven't drawn enough. So yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of liking the idea of switching to being able to look up the Pokemon reference, but I don't know, maybe that's not as fun for you guys as watching me suffer. Maybe I should do like 2 variants, one where it is by memory, and then another time where you guys have pity on me. And then we're just adding a little bit of shading here where the bells on the head are. And then we'll just throw in some brighter highlights that are like near white, almost white, kind of like an off yellow white. Just to sort of add a little bit of shine here. And then we'll add just a tiny touch of bottom highlight where the sun would pick up something that is more indented. Jeez, this is a strange looking Pokemon, isn't it? Alright. And that is a little over 5 minutes. There we go. And I'll try to do a little bit of a... it still doesn't look right. Actually, give me 1 sec. I'm going a little over time, but that's okay. The eyes are a lot derpier. The eyes need to be further away. Yeah, that matches the look more. This just looks like a sad Chingling, and this is actually, much more accurate. Keeping the eyes further away from each other. I'm not done with mine, you won. Was it a contest? There we go. No deep fried Kirby here. 2 variants. Personally, I don't mind if you use a reference or not. Huh, alright, well, you know what? I actually might do that. I might, make 2 variants then, because I think I enjoy it a little bit more when I am not crazy. And this is just, what I'm doing here is just a push and contrast. So pushing those yellows and blues to be stronger. There we go. Save that. And that will be posted later, I suppose. It wasn't a contest, it was an experiment. There you go. Alright, let's get back to Ookami Mio. Let me get rid of my timer here. There we go. Is this facing the right way? It is facing the right way, okay. This is cleaned up, this is cleaned up. We finished these bells. That's what the bell talk was about. Where else were we going with this? Let me just clean up the hands real quick. Just let me get some more defined features here. Why is Twitch, like, not allowing me to complete my redeems here? These are done. Go away. Talon, I have a redeem where users can bap each other. Or hug. It also works as a hug. So Dolphin just bapped. Don't worry, it's not like a stream warning or anything. No more bells. Yeah, right? Oh my gosh. Okay. Let me get a darker color here and just sort of quickly add a little bit of an outline to define the edges. My door slammed and scared me. I forgot the window was open. Oh, jeez. Get a little jump scare from a non-horror streamer. Bap. I really wish that YouTube would, work their... Oh wait, no, it's on Stream Elements. It should work on YouTube as well. At least, I think? Maybe? It's a Stream Elements thing. So, hopefully it'll work. I don't know. Talon, you have to use the exact wording. It only works if it's, if it can pick it up perfectly. Alright, something like that, I suppose. I'm not super happy with the color, but that's okay. We'll move along. I want something that's a little less, cool on the hand. There we go. Ah. I still have to do the complicated sleeves. I don't want to do the complicated sleeves. They're complicated. It does work on YouTube. Thanks for testing that, Vesta. Alright, I just, I'm focusing a little bit on just trying to get the hands right. You see, I'm trying not to fuss on the details still. I'm trying to be very casual with it here. Brandon's helping me with the payback when I can't do it myself. just sort of trying to clean this edging up a little bit. Almost done here. I'm basically just trying to clean it up so that you can sort of see it a bit easier. And I'll grab the dark color over here again and just sort of quickly do like a faux line art. That's basically what it is, right? It's like a faux line art. It's like, it's not really line art, you're just sort of throwing some darker color on the edge to sort of stimulate line art. I don't know, I can't really call this lineless because I am holding things down with line art, but it's like nearly lineless at this point. Yes, faux liner, F-A-U-X. Alright, that is about finished. And where do I need to move on here? I think I can get away with not being super careful here. I'm just gonna sort of bash it in real quick. As much as I'd love to stick around, I have matters outside of the realm of the Phoenix's universe to attend to. Love the stream and the art. Hope to catch you next and have a wonderful day. Thank you so much, Phoenix. I wish you all the best with the rest of your day as well, and thank you so much for stopping in. What? Alright, hang on. This is still one of the most confusing parts to me. I'm just gonna need to straight up add line art here because I can't even read what my own sketches are telling me at this point. Alright. There we go, that's a bit clearer, I think. There we go. Alright. I can kind of understand how it works, more or less. Okay, this makes sense, and I think there needs to be one more fold to just sort of tie things together, more or less. There we go. No, actually the way I had it was fine. I'm just gonna keep it that way for simplicity's sake. It's like trying to paint a fan. It's just not, it can easily get confusing. I'm sure you guys probably are looking at this and not seeing it as being confusing, but when you're trying to base out each fold, it can sort of throw you off a little bit. It probably doesn't look like it, I know. I think that if you're just watching someone paint, it's kind of hard to see which parts can trip you up more. And then I'm just gonna add a little bit of a lighter color on the top here. There we go. And I'll add a little bit of dark on the bottom to sort of add some difference in color. And then blend it back. There we go. That's good. Move on to this one. Should be a little faster because there's not as much to work with. A lot of it's already been covered up. And I'll just base that in again. I'm just sketching that in here. I'm just going to sort of paint in where the skin tone would be, and then clean that up. A little bit backwards, but that's okay. And then we're going to do the same thing here, grab that brighter color. And that darker color on the other end. There we go. That is just about done here. Grab some of that darker color for the inside. Alright. We got past the confusion of the sleeves. Sounds like a weird chapter in a fantasy novel. Alright. Confusion of the sleeves complete. The Irish cheese on his back. Alright, this is good, this is good, this is good, this is good. Alright, let's get her skirt finished. Oh, what? Wait, the sleeve has patterns on it too? Wait. Darn it. Okay. Alright, that's another detail. Whatever, that's fine. There we go. Don't overthink it. I'm not gonna overthink it. I'm just saying I didn't realize that there was, patterns on the sleeves here. I just have to add them in. It shouldn't be too hard. I just didn't know they were there. Is this basically just the reverse of the belt? Yeah, this is just the same thing, I suppose. It's not super complicated. I just didn't know it was there. Come on. What color is this? This is like a lavender? A purple? Alright, that's fine. Alright, if this is upside down and flipped, then it's going to be like that. Okay, I got it. I just didn't know it was here, that's all. They're not super complicated though, it's just a few little flower details. It's just strange to me that it's only on one end. And what are these? Is that... Alright, they're just little crosses, that's fine. And they're crosses, right? Let me just make sure I have that right. And then figure out where they need to go. There's one here, one here. Hello, Nixie, how's everything going? Hope you're doing well. And there's no room for these. Alright, that's fine. That's good enough, that works. Just get the average idea that it's there and that's all we need. And it actually has more, what do you call it? More saturation. So let me just grab the color here, make it a little bit brighter. It's more of a magenta. It's a very strong color. Let me just add that in real quick. Just on top, really swiftly. Probably doesn't even look like I'm making any changes. That's okay. I'm doing pretty good. I'm the commission grind once again, and by that I mean I'm procrastinating. Well, it's good that you're getting commission work, though. I'm happy for you. Blah. Jeez. Why does this have to be so complex? Blah. Alright. What? I'm just gonna basically cheat this whole thing and just start, like, softening this up and adding line art, because I really can't be bothered with all the details of this skirt. If this is a commission, I'd be much more bothered with the details, but it's not a commission, so I'm not bothered with the details. That makes sense, right? That's fair, right? Ugh. I was saying earlier in stream, I still can't get myself to simplify commission work. Even when it's an experimental sketch, I can't get myself to do it. So I need to work on that. This needs to be more square in format. Getting lots more commissions? I was worried in the beginning. I thought I put my price too high, but a bunch of people told me to wait and see. Glad I did. Nice, Nixie! See? See, people can see when your work is worth it. And the more work you get, the more reputation you build. So I'm glad to hear that. Maybe you need to start with a simpler subject to get used to the process more. It's not the process, it's the fact that, like, if I'm doing something for somebody, I get very, nervous. It's more of like an attitude thing, I suppose. I don't know. I think it's something that I just sort of have to get used to over time. Okay. Very complex skirt decoration here. I should have done this part earlier, but oh well. I'm just gonna start from scratch and paint right over what I had before, because I just sort of want a blank slate for this. Yeah, it'll just be easier if I work from a straight blank slate, I think. My work is mid, every piece was required to help me get better, whether I like it or not. Yeah, you learn a lot from the commission process, you know? Um, every time I do a commission piece, I learn a ton. Just from the work in general, just from doing the work. Every new piece is a opportunity to learn, you know? You need to do like they do on the cooking contest shows, set a strict time limit. When it's up, an alarm goes off, you have to stop, raise your hand, and then boom, done. Yeah, I should. Um, obviously you guys know that, like, even when I have to do those 5-minute, Pokemon things, I still end up being like, no, wait, I just need to go over by an extra minute and add more detail. I'm so bad. I'd be terrible at those cooking shows, honestly. I wouldn't be able to do that. I need to set it as a stream goal? Pick a subject, make a stream day for it, do a strict time limit. When it's done, stop drawing, go over with chat what you would add, wish you did differently if you had more time. I think going over it in this manner might help you better realize what you need to focus on to be speedy. That's an idea. I definitely don't hate that idea, Vessa. I definitely don't hate that idea. I'm gonna consider, I definitely wouldn't do it with one of the Hololive girls because I think I'm still, learning a bit of the subject as I go. But I could probably do that from, like, a Pokemon. Or an animal. Yeah, I mean, I think I said at one point that that's what I wanted to start doing, and then I end up still wanting to make pieces that look finished. And I think, you know, I think part of the problem is, like, I'm gonna sound like I'm making so many excuses. I think part of it is the social media aspect. that I want to be able to have, like, a nice thing to post on social media or to make a speed paint of to create more content. So I'm, like, trying to not make a bad result thing. I don't know. Maybe you can understand what I mean there. It's probably not a good mindset to have. I think I'm aware of that part. I just, I don't know. I think part of me just still thinks I'm really behind. And I just need to catch up with posting more examples of this kind of stuff. So I keep trying to make them really high quality. Or at least as high quality as I can get, even if I'm not spending too much time focusing on every individual detail. I'm still not being speedy. You know the thing about work time increases to take up your available free time or whatever? You're not getting things done in a timely manner because you keep allowing yourself to work past the time limit. You need consequences for not getting it done in time, then you'll get better at it. Yikes. Ay, ay, ay. Ohio, I spare? How is everything? Alright. Maybe we'll have a stream at some point where I'm not focused on doing a clean finished product then. Maybe we'll have a stream where I just straight off, where I work more like how I did with the Qingling just then. Maybe that'll work. Trying to figure out where these ties are supposed to go to be even. More or less like that. I gotta go take care of some stuff. Good luck on the Hololive art. Thank you, Talon. All the best with the rest of your day. I like being real with you guys on stream, but sometimes it also scares me. I'm definitely speaking a bit vulnerably here. But I also think that it's sort of nice to be able to tell you where my thought process is at with this stuff. Didn't finish this from last live? No, we are getting there. We are almost done. Most of the details have been done. It's just a matter of finishing the details here. Almost done. Just sort of a matter of, well, this kind of stuff, which I can't, which is too low for me to even paint in. Oh. There we go. I'm not trying to put you on the spot. No, you're good, Vessa. It's actually, it's helpful. It actually does give me a lot of ideas. I actually really appreciate it. And it's probably stuff that I should hear even if I don't wanna. Alright. Just gonna get a little bit darker on the edge, just so it kind of blends a little nicer. Come on. Back here. There we go. I try to tell people it's best. I'm a good friend because I try to tell people it's best for them not just agreeing with what they think and want me to say. Yeah. No, it's genuinely appreciated. I think what you're saying is useful and something I should probably start acting on. I think next stream we'll either do asset things or practice a genuinely quick piece. With a time limit, maybe. Okay. But this is, for sure, a more complex design with the crisscrossing and everything. I'm just sort of trying to push that on either end, just add a little bit more shadow. Gosh, it gets so much darker here in the winter months. I'm used to it being a little lighter. Do you have fun? Yeah, no, this is definitely fun. I've just got a lot to work on, that's all. The crossover corset like string thing is kind of a witch to deal with, yeah. I like drawing Victorian goth fashion stuff, and the crisscross strings sometimes drive me crazy. For sure, yeah. I know this isn't even very well done, I'm just sort of like throwing it in real quick to be like, okay, it's done. I know there's the design there. And then she's got some slight detail here. She's got flowers. Not as bad as Sakura Miko, but there's still some flowers on each end here. Don't want to forget those. I feel like I mix up Miko and Mio a lot, so I'm trying to be careful with how I say it. It's been snowing where I am? Have I been sending ice magic my way? That has not been my doing. That might have been one of my friends, but I have not been doing that yet. I've been too preoccupied to send snow anyone's way. I know that, where is it? Anyone in upstate New York got hit really hard, and I can guarantee you that was not my doing, but I don't know who it was. That's been hit so hard it was even in the papers. So I feel the need to clarify right now that I'm not responsible for that part. Alright. A few more details here. It's not super complicated, which is nice. There we go. I might have to paint a little lower. I'm not actually sure where the cutoff is there. This is all finished. I'll just start adding the, quickly throw in the detail for her ears. That's just a swift furred thing. So that doesn't take very long. And then we'll focus on her face. And then we will be good. All my friends talking about snow. It's 54 degrees here today. Dang. Grab some of the ear shape here. And then just sort of throw on the highlight. Part of me feels like I shouldn't have saved the face to the end just so I'm not rushing it, but it is what it is at this point. It's fine. But yeah, just quickly getting her fur tuft in here. Be very loose because fur is very non-specific. It's very organic. Do I have any plan to do anything other than paint in the future? This is mainly what I do on streams. Is I'm an art VTuber. In the future, in the far off future, well, I can't really say how far off, but I have debated on potentially wanting to do 3D stuff. But I think I still have a long way to go before I'm able to do that. But I think some point I'd like to. I have a lot of 3D skills by trade, and I kind of want to utilize them a bit, but no part of that will I be rushing in a speed paint-like fashion, so I don't know. I think that would be much slower, and I'm not really sure how comfortable I would be on stream with that yet. The only reason I can do speed paints like this is because I have sort of worked with the technique. Not so much with Hololive girls, but definitely with other subjects. But yeah, I do want to consider doing some 3D things in the future. I've got the experience for it. I've got the craft. I just it'd be a lot more nerve-wracking, that's all. "3D anime hand make? What do you mean by that?" See what I'm saying with the ears is because they're sort of fluffy and non-specific, I don't have to be super careful with how precise I'm painting those. That's probably why a lot of anthro art is faster. One, because I'm more comfortable with it. Two, because fur is very non-specific. And there's rarely any crazy patterns or anything, you know? I mean, there are some. If you have like a leopard or no cheetah, that's gonna take a lot longer, but you know what I mean. There's no clothing to follow. Or very rarely. And you can have a Beatrix Potter type thing. Or like a street art style, but yeah. I don't know. But anything like, you know, fur or wings, it seems faster to paint for me. Thank you for the save, Dolphin. Trying to go one shade lighter here to push it a little bit more. And soften it so that we are focusing more on the shape overall. There we go. Yeah, fur is just much faster. What I'm going to quickly do as well is I'm just going to grab these colors and put a little bit of a darker hue around where the fur is, because it's getting a little bit lost in the pink of the ears. So I just want to sort of swiftly do this. Throw this on a multiply layer. Erase a bit where the fur is. And then reduce the opacity just so we can see those details a bit clearer. Maybe do a member sub only stream for the first 1 or 2 3D ones so you're less nervous and it feels more like hanging out with friends. That's a good idea. I might do that. I've been debating if I should do sub only streams. It's a little strange, right? Because eventually I'm hoping to reach things on YouTube, but we're not really there yet. So I'm sort of trying to plan for if/when that might happen. But yeah, that might be a good way to make it less nerve-wracking for sure. Because that would be something where, like, in the beginning, what I would probably want to be doing is digital sculpting, and then eventually get to the point where I'm doing things in physical space, because that's actually where my strength is. But yeah, definitely more nerve-wracking. Alright. See, there we get a nice amount of contrast there. I'll just soften it up a little bit on the edges. There we go. I forgot her little lemon slice charm. What is this? Add that real quick. Don't want to forget about that. Make my own original anime, start from short, and grow to 2 to 3 hour long movies in theater. I can't animate. I mean, I can do little tiny quick things, but they're more like, you know, 2-second loops. But I don't animate. What digital sculpting do I use? I use ZBrush because it's the closest to traditional, and my sculpting experience is in traditional. So it feels the most natural. I feel like I should learn Blender because they do have natural tools now. But ZBrush is kind of the gold standard in terms of a natural sculpting feeling. I think I'd benefit from learning either, though. It's been a cool stream. I'm gonna head out and chill for a bit. Can't wait to see the finished painting later. Yeah, thank you so much for stopping by, Brandon, and I wish you all the best with the rest of your day. I'm gonna try to see if I can turn this into a speed paint after I catch up on the previous few that I have. I actually have a lot to catch up in regards to speed paint making, so We'll see where that goes. Maybe there'll be a lot of speed paints in December. Since by then the winter assets should basically be done and I'll be able to focus on other things. Although I think maybe the old recording of the speed paint might be a little strange, but I'm just gonna work with what we have. Okay. Let's see if we can finish off today with the face. And I am definitely past time, but oh well. See if I want to change the light, but I think we're good here. I've considered learning Blender before. It seems really intimidating. I'm not sure if I'd be good at it. I definitely understand that. The reason that it's so intimidating is because it can do, like, anything. So you have access to every tool for everything it can do. And if it was sort of, like, if you had less things in the way, I think it would feel less intimidating, but it's like giving you an entire toy store and then trying to figure out where to focus. Speed paints. I noticed that your video, when you call it a time-lapse instead of speed paint, had really good numbers. Have you thought about experimenting with the phrasing? Really? I hadn't noticed that, Thorn. I should actually take better note of that. Thank you for letting me know. There are times when I've wanted to call it illustration making, because that's what a lot of the Japanese artists write, and I kind of just like the way it sounds. But I thought that speed paint was more popular a term, but I didn't realize that about time-lapse, so I might experiment further with that. Have I eaten yet? I have not. It would probably be dinner later, but this is kind of midday for me, so I'm okay for the most part. But thank you. Make sure that the mouth is in okay shape. You guys know how I've talked about the shape of the mouth being like a total deterrent if it's wrong. This might still be wrong, I'm not sure. It's really hard to tell, but the mouth has, determines so much if the whole thing is gonna be good or bad in the end. I'm willing to help with speed paint editing. I appreciate that, Vessa. I think I'm at the point where I kind of have a workflow, but I do want to sort of look into any way to make it more interesting, except most speed paints you look on YouTube, they all kind of have the same formula. They're all kind of the, they all sort of do the same stuff. I don't really see much innovation within speed paints, and I kind of want to see if there's a way I can. Yeah, not many people do. I have seen this, ironically, someone who does Blender. I have seen someone who does Blender do a really interesting way of speed paint. But it's like, there's no good in between there, between like a crazy amount of work and like no work at all. So I'll figure something out. Thorn knows who I mean. Is it a taco? I don't think so. I think it's supposed to be a lemon wedge. Alright. That's looking better. Try and make them a little rounder so they don't look so vampire-like. Make sure that's about even on either end. I think that's good. All right. I can't think of many ways to make a speed paint or time-lapse feel very different. Yeah, it's not easy. I think if you do, like, if you did traditional, there's ways to make it more interesting, but digital, there feels like everyone just sort of does the same thing. I've even asked on different Reddit forums, like, what are the most amazing speed paints that you guys have seen? And everyone just sort of said something with commentary, which I plan to actually start transitioning to eventually. I'm just sort of trying to get some backlog paintings done that are just simpler with music. Eventually I want to start doing commentary on speed paints, but in terms of the actual video, there's not too much to innovate on. At least I haven't found any. I haven't found any that, like, really stood out, I guess. I'd love to, though. Or I'd love to be the one to do that. I just really don't know where to go. Hello, Sophia. How are you? Hopefully everything's going well. Where did I learn how to draw? In my self-study? No, That's kind of hard to answer, actually. Because in terms of self-study, I would say yes and no. I don't make it a secret that I have gone to an art school, and I did learn a lot in art school, but I personally believe that I have learned more in self-study. But the art school was definitely something that I don't regret doing, if that makes any sense. I think I just sort of expanded more on it. Who has sharper fangs? Myself or Ookami? Probably Ookami, because I'm not really going to compete with a wolf. My guess is that a wolf has sharper fangs. Okay. And we will clean up the eyes. Tomokui, hello there. How's everything going? I hope everything is well. Let's see if there's a way I can sort of paint the eyes as... Yeah, this is all in one layer. Oh, I made my life a little harder, didn't I? That's okay. We'll see if we can do something that is fairly decent. Might not end up being as good as the one we did for Sakura Miko, but we'll see here. The hair decoration looks like a close ad button. Student time in Robot Land, have a good day. Thank you for the stream. Thank you, Vessa, for stopping by and for all of your advice. I really appreciate it. I might have to ask you to remind me about what some of them were again, because I can't entirely remember all of it. But thank you, and have a lovely dinner. See if I can get a little bit of the shading here on the face. I'm doing amazing. Hope you're doing amazing. Thank you. I'm doing pretty well. We're just about working with the last area of the eyes here. Alright, yeah. I'm trying to figure out where I want the whites of the eye to be. I think this is good. I'm just sort of painting over it, cleaning up what we had before, making the edges clearer. And turn this into a dark red so that it matches the skin tone better. Maybe a little darker, a little less saturated. I'll probably become a VTuber, I just don't know if I will be popular. Well, you gotta start somewhere. What kind of VTuber do you want to be? Do you know what direction you're gonna go? Do you know if you want to be, if you want to start PNG, 2D, 3D? No one's gonna be popular in the beginning. It takes time to build that up. I mean, I'm not anywhere near anything remotely recognizable, but I'm still doing it because I really have fun talking to people on stream. I have fun talking to you guys. And I have plans for the future, but I am kind of just enjoying where I'm at the moment. Might start as PNG tuber? Nice. Do you know what kind? Do you have any ideas for how you want to look? I'm just sort of flipping back and forth on the canvas here. And evolve into VTuber? Well, a PNG tuber is still a VTuber. I mean, I'm a VTuber. I just, you know, I present myself in this way out of my own choice, frankly. I do have a 3D Fox form that I sometimes use, but lately I've just been working in PNG because it's my own work, and I kind of like the personal side of it. Anyway. I'm gonna have to cut, like, most of this out of the stream because it's just gonna be... Or not out of the stream, out of the speed paint. Tomokui, thank you so much for subscribing on YouTube. I really appreciate it. This PNG is actually so good it feels like a 2D model. Thank you, Grendel. I don't really think I feel much like a 2D model, but I appreciate you saying so. I think the one thing that's annoying about being an art VTuber with Live 2D, or not in terms of making Live 2D, but in terms of being Live 2D and doing art on stream, is and you guys know this from my 3D self, is that your eyes close and there's not really much you can do about it. Just because of the way that your tablet and canvas are angled. So, I don't know, there's a part of me that kind of likes the PNG part, but I eventually would like to explore the Live 2D world, especially because I think it would improve the asset work I do. Join us. I want to, but I want to be, if I did, I would want to be entirely self-made, so I would be wanting to learn the entire thing, you know? So that's still gonna be a while away. But, you know, I like doing my own magic, I like doing my own spell work, and I want to try keeping that up. But if I do, I think I could do a lot more fun with the assets, that's for sure. Okay, the eyes are starting to feel less weird. I'm happy about that. I have had some people tell me that they really want me to look more into the program because they want me to start making assets that move. And I would love to do that at some point. I'd really love to learn all the skill sets for that. Pupils might be a bit out of place if the black dots are them. Oh yeah, no. I know. I'm just focusing on the eyebrows right now, kind of going back and forth on there, and then we still have more to fix here. Don't worry. I can definitely see that they're off, and I agree with you. Let me try to make sure that I'm getting the eye shape right. And then she's got thicker eyelashes on the bottom, which is interesting. I don't think I've actually seen this before. I mean, I have, just not on a Hololive member. Something like that. I'll add a slight darker area here just to show that there's, you know, where the lashes are, make that a little darker. Have I seen One Piece? I have not. I unfortunately don't think I will because I know how long it is, and I don't think it's something I'd be able to tackle. It's just a bit too much to start into. I don't really want to be a PNG tuber. I enjoy capturing my facial expression. That's totally fair. I mean, you know, I can definitely do various sort of things like that. But I totally understand. Alright. I'm just rounding out the eyes a little bit more, making sure that the base shape is good. And then if that's good, then I can work on moving the pupils to an accurate direction, as Grendel's pointed out. Let me just wipe away all of the sketchiness here. Put the pupils where they're actually meant to go. That always looks weird on any anime art. I'm sure this is centered and over a little bit. We've been watching nothing for like a year straight. We took the odd break when we started watching it in my house at the start of the pandemic. We only just caught up to the English dub. Oh my goodness. That definitely sounds intense. Alright, ugly phase on the eyes, I'm aware. I know it doesn't look good right now, don't worry. Once I get the bottom part here, it'll start working out. I'd like to talk with you. I might change my name on YouTube so I can make it officially my channel, because some people like to name snipe and take your subs. Oh yeah, no, I definitely understand that. You're friends with Neanners? I feel like Neanners would have better VTubing advice than I would, though. I think she's got a little bit more experience. I mean, has she sort of given you any advice when you said that you've been thinking about this kind of stuff? I don't know if it's the real one, though. Yeah, that's hard to tell. I mean, usually by follower count you could tell, right? But if you say you're friends with them, I mean, I think it wouldn't be too difficult to figure out if all their socials match and everything, you know? That's what I'd be paying attention to, if their socials match. On Discord? I mean, you must have found a way to... Well, if it was on Discord, did they approach you? Or did you find them in a group? Murdoch, jeez. Make the pupils red so that I'm keeping with the warmer color scheme here. And then I think I'm just gonna airbrush a more orange color because I want the I want this to change a bit. There we go. That's... Yeah, that is definitely closer to the color I wanted. It was feeling too green before. That's better. You found them? That's interesting then. Was it in any specific group? I don't know what kind of groups they would be in, but I'm just sort of curious. We are still in the ugly phase of the eyes. They're going to look less creepy. I'd really love to do work for VShoujo someday. I think that would be really fun. Getting to do something for a for corporate VTubers. Should be good. Maybe we'll reduce that a tiny bit. There we go. It was an RP group, that's why I'm kind of on edge. Yeah, that does sound a bit strange. I don't know if Neanners is known for RP. That definitely throws me off, especially if it is an RP group, and, you know, they could just be role-playing as Neanners. That I would not be super sure of, frankly. I mean, I always sort of have my reservations about this kind of stuff anyway. But that definitely does make it seem less likely. Show them my work. Yeah, I mean, the only way to really, to show an agency VTuber your work is to do fan art, right? I mean, eventually what I'm hoping to do is move on from, I'm sort of starting on the Japanese Hololive side just because I'm admiring the designs a lot. But eventually I would love to start painting the people who might actually, see it and retweet it or reach out someday, but I think I need to be at a higher level first. So, I'm sort of gradually hoping to get there, Krental. Suddenly looks more balanced? Yeah. I could see I don't want to say mistakes because I could see where they were going, but I knew where I was going to be taking it, let's say. So I knew that it wasn't looking balanced. I want to do a little bit of a saturated darkness here. More saturated, I'd say. There we go. Maybe add a multiply. No, actually, keeping that normal is better. And a bit darker. And then I'll sort of add the edges here, just so I can refine where the eyelashes are. Here we go. Name's official now? Alright, Mokataku. Got it. So, what kind of VTuber are you hoping to be? I can't quite tell. Do I think the old one was better, or do I like the new one better? I guess it kind of depends on which vibe you're going for. I don't really know the meaning behind your name, so it's a little hard to tell. Honestly, I don't know. It could be something strange. I would probably do research, if you can, just to make sure you're not, using anything that does mean anything strange. I would just sort of be careful about that kind of thing. Like, I was, when I took on my more humanoid form, I used to just be a fox, and my name at the time was just Starlight. And then when I took my human form, I added the Akari part on the end, and I did a lot of research to make sure that I picked something that wasn't strange. At one point, I did pick something that I thought sounded cool. I can't even tell you what it was because I don't even remember. But when I looked it up in another language, it meant, horrible loser. So I clearly wasn't going to go with that. So it might just be a good idea to do some research, just in case. Just in case, you know? Because even if you just string things that sound nice together, it could mean something that you weren't expecting. So, I advise you to do your research. You don't have to do as much research as I did, because some people know that I went a little bit crazy on the research side, but I would still do some type of research, just to be on the safe side. Yeah, sparkle definitely means loser. No. No, it was something that was in a completely different language. And I just sort of was throwing things around and working with what I thought sounded cool. And it sounds cool unless you know what it means in that language. Always do your research, that's my advice. Always do your research. Or you might end up calling yourself a total loser. And you wouldn't want that. Unless that's your brand, unless you intentionally want to do that. I mean, some people would intentionally try to do that. I do not like how those eyebrows look at all. Let's try that again. Come on. Is there any way to make this look okay, or is it just gonna look strange? It doesn't look terrible, but I also don't like it. It works well enough, I suppose. I'll just move this one a little bit and shift it up. Nose placements make me feel weird when seen next to the mouth. Do you think it needs to be a little higher? It might need to be a little higher, you could be right. You think it... Or maybe it needs to be moved a little. Hang on. Oh, hang on. Yeah, I'm trying. It's not happy right now. That's better. That's better, right? Just a little more centered. Alright. Thank you, Grendel. I appreciate that. We'll start adding the... Add a little bit of a deeper highlight here. Something a little more orange. don't want to mess with that. Hang on. This a little higher, this a little lower. And then, under here, we'll do an add glow effect. Because I always love doing that with the eye highlights. And add a little bit stronger here. So much for being quick. Listen, at this point, I'm just trying to salvage it, you know? But this is basically our end point. See here? I feel like I could still probably work with the eyes, but it's okay. It's not it's probably not 100% where I would be with them, but you know, for the sake of the stream, I think it's okay. Yeah, I know. So much for being quick. I get it. Alright, let's grab our card inside and see if we can do this. Take our selection. Yeah, I'm gonna have to finish that up a little, but that's okay. Make a new layer here. Invert our selection. I know it's not perfect. It's a little bit cut off. That's alright. A little darker. I'll clean up this bit afterwards, but I think we've got it for the most part. I might do a tiny bit of moving the eye a bit. Where's the, where's that layer? Can we just combine these all? Can we just make it easier and combine these? I'm just gonna squish this over a tiny bit more, so it's not falling. There we go. Here we go. I think that is pretty good. I think I'm a little happier with the other ones, but that's okay. I think that it's still really good to practice, even if it's not, you know, 100%, but for 2 streams, I think that this isn't too bad. She doesn't have eyebrows? No, I added the eyebrows in. Adachi Masaki means true brightness? That could work, yeah. Yeah, I would just keep doing little bits of research and just making sure and all that stuff. What should be a good site? Do you mean for streaming or do you mean for having a website? What do you mean by that? Might need to clarify a little bit there. But speaking of sites, if you haven't yet, consider joining our Art Focus Discord server. We, if you are an artist, you can post your own work. If you, if you are not an artist, but you just enjoy seeing work, or if you want updates next time I go live, then you can, join the Discord to get notified of that. For streaming, I would probably, I think the most, If you make content that is not just streaming, then I would say it's best to do a YouTube channel. You can also, like, start streaming on Twitch and then bring people over to YouTube. I personally do both because I think that it's interesting to sort of see where your audience comes from. I get some people who are happier on the YouTube side, some people are happier on the Twitch side. I personally give them that choice. If you're just starting out, a lot of people do start out on Twitch, but YouTube could be really good because less people are streaming on YouTube, so you'd be easier to find. The organic search is also a lot better. I thought about the other way around, YouTube videos with Twitch streaming. Yeah, a lot of people go about it that way too. Yeah, making YouTube videos but streaming on Twitch. I would experiment and see what works for you. If you have a YouTube channel and you want to use the YouTube channel, then, you know, absolutely you could do that. And actually, if you have more questions that are, like, specific to VTubing, check out Vtuber Senpai on YouTube because he is the best educator for getting started in VTubing. YouTube's algorithm better? Yeah, I find that I get more new people coming in. Like, for example, Adachi and Ice Bear, how did you guys find the stream? How did you end up finding me at first? Is it possible to request a profile pic from you? I don't do requests, but I do commissions. I currently have a wait list, but if you want to message me on Discord, we can definitely discuss something. Let me just see. It's not going to work if I do it individually. Hang on. See if I can throw out the Discord link there, and then we'll see if YouTube wants to be nice. But if you do !Discord, you should get a link to my Discord server. Again, if you want to be notified when I'm going live and everything, definitely consider checking it out. It's not working on the YouTube side. Give me a second here. Oh, there we go. Alright, thank you, Stream Elements. Alright, I think that worked on the YouTube and Twitch side, hopefully. But yeah, definitely feel free to join the Art Focus Discord, get notified when I am going live, or if you want to see other people posting their work, anything like that. And I think next stream I'm either going to be doing asset work, or we might try doing something where I take Vessa's advice and actually do hold myself to a really strict timeline. And that would probably end up being a Pokemon or something that I would be more comfortable painting. If you guys have any suggestions on what you might want to see me paint, feel free to write them in the Discord and maybe we can talk about that. But anyway, I hope you all have a lovely rest of your day, evening, or a night, wherever you may be in the world, or the multiple worlds you may reside in. And thank you so much, Stargazers. Have a fantastic day, and all the best.